Hey everybody, welcome back to Bookish Days. I'm Brad, your Sunday, and this week's topic is Wishlist Week. And so, since I have a super long wish list, I'm just going to only cover months May through September, and I've only chose like 3 to 5 books for each month. So let's just go ahead and get started so this video isn't super long. So for May, I have 5 books picked out that I am super excited for, and these aren't in any particular order, they're just there, and I'm excited for them. The first one is Icons by Margaret Stoll. Now, she is the co-author of Castor Chronicles, and this deals with aliens, and I am so excited for Icons, like, you don't understand. The End Games by T. Michael Martin. Now, he is also a YouTuber, so I will link his channel down below, but this is about a world where it has ended, and they're like these weird zombie creatures, and everything's basically like a video game. I'm excited for this book. Then I have a middle grade on my list. This is The School for Good and Evil, and this book involves fairy tale characters, and you have a school for good, you know, to become good, and then you have a school for the evil to become wicked and all this stuff, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this book. I'm gonna read it as soon as I get it, so it's gonna be awesome. But then on that same day, Towering by Alex Flynn comes out, and she's the author of Beastly, that was also made into a movie, and Bewitching, and this one is a retelling of Rapunzel, and holy crap, I'm super excited for Towering. It sounds phenomenal. And the last book I've chosen for May is Goddess by Josephine Angelini. Now, this is the third and final book in the Star-Crossed trilogy. This is a retelling of Helen of Troy, the Greek myth, and oh my gosh, I am so excited for Goddess because this series is amazing. It's one of my favorites. Now, I only picked 3 books for June. Now, the first book I picked is Elegy by Tara Hudson. Now, this is the third and final book in the Hereafter trilogy. I have not read the second book, Arise, yet, but I really love the first book, Hereafter, so I'm definitely excited for Elegy. And then we have Rush by Eve Silver, and what I can gather about this is it's a dangerous and lethal game played with aliens or something. That one sounds really epic. And then we have In the After, and this is a world torn apart filled with zombies and these rage-filled creatures tracking down this girl and this baby that she finds in a supermarket. Sounds different, but I can't wait. In July, I have 2 books. First being A Darkness Strange and Lovely by Susan Dennard, and this is the sequel to Something Strange and Deadly, which is a historical fiction novel of zombies, and of course, I loved Something Strange and Deadly, and I cannot wait for the sequel. And then there is Earthbound by April Lynn Pike. Now, she's the author of the Wing series, and it's a new series from her, and I'm not too sure what it's about, but it looks super interesting. It's weird, and I can't wait. In August, I only chose 3 books. The first one is probably my #1 most anticipated book for the rest of the year, and it is Elegy by Amanda Hocking. This is the 4th and final novel in the Water Song Quartet, and I hope you guys know already, but I absolutely love Amanda Hocking and all her books, and after the ending of Book 3, Title, which comes out in June, by the way, I need Elegy, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then we have The Bitter Kingdom by Ray Carson, which is the 3rd and final book in the Fire and Thorns trilogy. Why is 2013 the year of books ending? I have no idea why. This is an epic high fantasy series. I have this as an ARC on my Kindle, so I will definitely be reading it this month because I can't wait any longer. And the final book I chose for August is Deception by C.J. Redwine. Now, this is the sequel to Defiance, which is another fantasy series. Love Defiance. I cannot wait for Deception, and I love that cover. And the last month I'm going to be talking about is September, and September was the one I had the hardest time choosing books, and I had to end up choosing 5, but I wanted to include all of them on my list. The first one I chose was Not a Drop to Drink, and this looks like a post-apocalyptic novel where water is everything, and it sounds fantastic, and I cannot wait for that book. And then I have The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. Now, I actually recently checked out The Raven Boys from the library because I have the ARC of it, I want to read the hardcover, and also because I want to reread it because I love that book so much. And after the end of The Raven Boys, I need The Dream Thieves. And then we have Once We Were by Kat Zane. Now, I'm waiting for this cover to be released. I am seriously hoping that the cover does not change because what's left of me cover is my favorite cover ever. And I know Kat, and she is awesome, and I'm just stoked for Once We Were. 359 by Gretchen McNeil. Now, this is a new book from her. All of her books so far have been standalones, but her series that comes out next year is, of course, part of a new series. And this deals with, like, altered dimensions and these 2 people that meet at the same time at 3:59. I think they're doppelgangers. It sounds awesome. And the final book I chose is The Whatnot by Stefan Bachman. Now, this is the sequel to the middle grade novel The Peculiar, and I love The Peculiar. earlier. It made like the top 5 of my 2012 list. So, of course, I am dying for The Whatnot. I cannot wait for that book any longer. Like, I want it to be September already, because I will read that book in a day, probably. Alright guys, so that's all from me this week here on Bookish Days, and I will see you with our next video. Happy reading.